Welcome everybody back to the Daily Rambling Podcast with your host Sophie. Um, so a few things I want to talk about are actually I don't have notes. I'm creative. I just talk and talk and talk until maybe your brain goes into the mixer or gets exploded or I don't know or I don't know, maybe your ears start to bleed because I'm such an annoying thing. I don't know, yeah. So, I have multiple things I actually want to talk about. So, the first thing is video games. Something I noticed a few last days on Twitter is there are a controversy again because people can't distinguish reality between fiction because games for me are fiction. I don't care what comes in a game, even if it's transphobic or homophobic, because I see it just as a game, and I'm not offended if it's a game. But if it was in real life, that would be another thing, because that wouldn't be fiction anymore. And what I'm trying to get is you shouldn't be um, attacking a video game because it has something transphobic. What you should attack is the politic, because real life talk, or rather what happened at Pride Parade. I don't want to talk about it because it's my stupid birthland, Germany. I hate so much. But back on track. What I want to say is, it's a game. Just it's. I don't know where the problem is. It's the same like with lollies. It's fiction, but I feel like I'm trying to explain to a 9-year-old something you already should know. Because I don't think my followers are so stupid that they don't know the difference. But I noticed quite quite some idiots don't know the difference between fiction and reality. So what I'm trying to say is, let's take Kana from Kobayashi. Yes, she is a lolly, but it's fiction. You can loot her all you want. It's fiction. It doesn't matter. But if it was a real life little girl, go straight to hell, in my opinion. Because there is a line between reality and fiction. I'm getting too worked up again. So yeah, that's what I mean. Reality and fiction are two different things and shouldn't be combined into one, because fiction is fiction and reality is reality. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself over and over. Wait a second. Sorry, that has to be. I just ate. And I'm not gonna cut out anything like I usually do. Because I'm not a normal YouTuber. I record just stuff. Done. I don't cut it. I don't do anything at it. I just record and post it. So I think I already covered the thing between reality and fiction. What else? Something else that happened a few minutes ago is that I kind of got married in a internet way. Um, I'm super proud of it because I finally found something to fight for, because it's not every day I fi- it's not every day I find something that is worth fighting for, because as we all humans have, we have depression, yes, and the depression makes us sad, lazy, and stuff like that. But since I have met Erin, I think, yeah, I met her in January, and since I have met her, I have found a great quantity of friends on Twitter, on, yeah, usually on Twitter, because she introduced me to many people, and that's really kind of her, that she has such good connection to people. And if it wasn't for her, I would already be crying all night in my bed and stuff like that. Because if it wasn't Erin, I would never ever have met Sherry. And as you all know, Cherry is the cutest from the personality her. Um, she's such a sweetheart. She fills everyone with she fills everyone's heart with jelly and peanut butter and stuff like that, and then devours your heart. Literally. No, everyone I have met until now are the most kindest people I have ever met in my entire life. Like, if I had to list down my friends with my wife, I would say in first place is Erin, of course. Second is Cherry. Third is Kuro. She is Brazilian. She moved over to Japan, and I already have such good connection to her. It's really nice. I finally have someone to talk about anime in deep lore and stuff like that. Back to the theme. And Forest Crimson, he's my best friend, even if he is 30 and loot on his timeline. But yeah, back to the theme. What I was talking about is if 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 it wasn't for Twitter, if it wasn't for my boringness, I would never have ever met those kind of people. So I'm gonna be true to myself. You should meet people on your work outside of the internet. I'm seriously, because I I had work and stuff like that, and I worked, and I have met people there, but it wasn't the same connection like I have right now with my online friends. I don't know why. Even if I never met them face to face, I have a bigger connection to them than to the people I have met face to face. Because those kind of people I have met online support me much more than people I have met face to face. Like, let's take for example Erin or Cherry. Both are very supportive because both are from the LGBT part plus. Erin is trans, and if I don't know. I know that Cherry is bisexual. I don't know her second gender, but I do know she dated guys and girls. Yeah, that's our little tiny family, or that's how I call it, because Cherry and Erin are the closest friends I have ever had in my life. Like, I can tell them everything from how I poop to how I piss. I don't have a talking barrier like other people do. Okay, let's get to something else. If you have a talking barrier, just find someone you can trust your problems with and talk about it, because this is gonna be some crazy and shit like that. So Cherry and I met up on the first day, or rather on the last day, I think. We talked about sexual things. Like, Cherry and I only know. I know Cherry for less than yeah, for 3 months, and we already talked about sexual things. But it's not as high sexual topic like it is with Erin, because Erin and I have a little, let's say, history of sexual encounters with ERP and stuff like that. We did exchange things. I don't want to go too deep into it because, as you all know, I had a lewd Twitter, or rather not safe for work, and I did post some questionable stuff on it, and I'm not proud of it. If I look back on my timeline and such, I really have to say I was dumb when I posted that kind of stuff, even if it's, let's say, weeks ago. I'm not proud of it, because I know I don't get a lot of interaction right now on my timeline, but, and here comes but, I'm much, much, much more happier with the timeline I have right now than the timeline I had before. Because let's say weeks ago, I posted a questionable picture, and it had more interaction from other people than I don't know how many. Because if I cut down the follower number I have, half of them are people in their 40s, 50s, and such numbers. And if I cut those numbers in half, my follower count is full of stalkers, pedos, and things like that. What I'm trying to say here is, you should be careful with who follows you, because you never know what's behind the screen. I saw what's behind the screen once, and that's with Sherry and Erin. It's just, you have to have a human knowledge to pick out the people you want to talk with. It's an unique talent people have. Like, strangely enough, I know who to follow back and with who to interact. Because if I was dumb and such and things like that, I would interact with men in their 40s and stuff like that. What I would never do. And what I'm trying to say is, you should be careful who you call who you call a friend. Because I talked with someone on Twitter. I don't know if I'm allowed to say her name. I don't think I am, so I'm not gonna tell the name of her. She's German. She had her fair issues, so I helped her a little bit, and she told me a little story that her parents and friends said that her boyfriend wasn't the right one and such things. And I told her the truth. People that say stuff like that, that the boyfriend isn't good for her, those aren't your real family or friends. Those are sack asses trying to manipulate you into something that you're not. And that's what I said yesterday already, is that you should be careful who you choose to trust, because the world is full of manipulating idiots that think they can manipulate a little girl or a normal girl into doing stuff that she doesn't want to do it. And so that's why I hate the currently humanity, because it's all just like the politics. It's all manipulated bullshit controlled by greater things that aren't clear for us and stuff like that. That's why I would rather live in my tiny little bubble than live outside. That's one of the things why I don't go outside, because I call myself an eat by myself. Yes, because I don't go outside because I want to. I go outside because I have to. Because if I wouldn't go outside, I wouldn't have food and such things like that. So, if there was a way, I would cut off myself completely from the outer life of Twitter and stuff like that. Because I would rather live with the people I have met on Twitter than live with jackasses that say that transgender is a fucking mental illness. Because my mother is such a piece of shit, thinking that LGBT is an illness. And that's why I grew onto the part of Twitter and Discord and such, because I prefer the people there than in real life. Because people in real life, or rather outside of Twitter, are fucking close-minded little shitheads that think, people that are on Twitter have some illness or something. No, something I didn't want to tell is when Sherry was here, my mother joked about her. And I didn't want to tell Sherry anything, because I didn't want her to barge into to Berlin and kick her butt. And that's why I didn't, because on first, my mother was against it, that Sherry, that I would met her, because my mother thought she's a crazy person that's gonna kill me, kidnap me, and stuff like that. No, I shitted on the soup in the soup of my mother, and just she did gave me the authorization to go, but I since then we never talked again, because she. A good example is I quitted Twitter for some quite time, and what happened is I was on Discord, erotic role playing and stuff like that. I did meet some people there, and something I noticed is my mother joked about those kind of people, because she said, there are just electrons flying through the air and doing I don't know what. That's one thing. And then, something that really, really, really pissed me off is, as you all know, I roleplay. Always as a female character. My mother noticed it, and she broke through the roof when she noticed I'm IRP as a female character. I don't know why, but yeah, she laughed at me for role playing, but as you all know, I give a shit about it. So currently I'm living by myself as a NEET, no work, nowhere in real life friends, just my Twitter and Discord friends I have. In theory, I'm just sitting lonely here in my room and watching anime. That's yeah, that's the cruel reality of life. Because in all honesty, I didn't ask for this. I didn't want to become a NEET or something. I wanted to make friends, yes, but not the outside friends that are gonna joke about me and talk behind my back and call me a faggot or stuff like that. I would rather spend my time with real friends I made on Twitter, because those people people I have met there are more worth for me than people outside of Twitter. Because I made some great times with the people on Twitter. And sorry if I repeat Twitter over and over and over. Maybe I can explode the ears. No. Let me think if I can get another topic, because I just don't want another podcast to just be there for 15 or 30 minutes, because I really enjoy making these. I don't know why, even if I already made one yesterday. So another thing I wanna do, or rather talk about it, an idea I had is, as you all know, I have blue Converse. So the idea I had is to buy myself one pink shoelace and one mint green shoelace, and put it on my Converse. And something I just crossed my mind is, as you all know, there is a logo on the side. What I thought of doing is putting the trans flag on it, like putting on the left shoe the trans flag, and on the right the lesbian flag, because I'm lesbian, as you all know, I think. Because if I was a guy, I was straight, but as I'm a trans girl, I'm lesbian, meaning I'm transbian. That's how I call it. Don't judge me. I just invented that. Yeah. But that's what I like to do, because now that I don't have a mother to tell me anything, I can do sewing work and stuff like that. Stuff I enjoy doing. Because I always enjoy doing something creative with things like on Discord, like I already told you guys. We had an idea of making role play game, fan based role play game, an RPG. But as I noticed that work is crushing Erin, her life is getting out of control and stuff like that, and as she is very precious to me, we set it on ice, because I don't wanna push someone into an uncomfortable place, because I care about the people around me. That's why I always try to communicate with them, because I would rather help people on Twitter or rather from Twitter than from outside of Twitter. Because the people on Twitter mean more for me